Yeah, I've been doing it year after year, but it's not getting easier. I completely understand that I'm the one who made this choice to move to another country, but it doesn't mean that I didn't want to be close to my family.
I know a lot of you can relate to the feeling of being happy that you moved because you had to take the shot. At the same time, why does it have to feel so excruciatingly painful to be away from family and friends? This video is for all of you out there who live abroad and miss home. It's for people who find it tough to say goodbye and think to themselves, was it really the right choice to move? Because if yes, why is it that hard? It's for people who just moved and go through stages of adulting and it feels lonely sometimes. Let's talk about this in the video, as well as some tips on how to cope, because trust me, there are ways to cope with it.
Goodbyes for me are always very hard. I'm someone who gets sad when I leave any place. Even if I did not like it that much at the place, I'm still gonna get sad that I leave it. I get sad when I start an experience and just at the realization that I will never be able to get back to this particular moment and to experience this particular thing. It makes me sad when I think about it.
I always have mixed feelings at airports. Airports symbol to me something new and exciting, an adventure. The future is thrilling, but airports also mean that you're leaving something. This thing that you've just experienced ended. You've just had an ice cream in the morning with mom and it felt so cozy and loving. And now this experience is totally over. There will be other mornings, other ice creams, but this experience is done. We cannot change that. We cannot change that everything is finite. But what do we make of it? Do we live our life constantly worrying about the next thing that we will do? Or do we stop and immerse ourselves in this particular moment? I cannot move back to Russia because I simply don't want to. But while I'm there in Moscow, I try to make sure that I'm as present with my family as I can be. When I was living in Russia 7 years ago, I cried my eyes out. I felt overwhelmed and terrified. You know this moment at the passport control when they need to check your identity, but you can't look at them because you feel ashamed, you can't stop crying, and it's just like a mix of feelings. It felt so right and wrong at the same time. I knew that I had to leave. I could never fully relate to the Russian culture and Russians. Even now, I have only a few Russians around me, and it's not that I'm avoiding them, but we just simply don't find each other. I knew that the world is bigger than Moscow. I wanted to leave. I wanted to have international friends. I was amazed by international families whose kids speak 2-3 languages. As naive and childish as it sounds, I wanted that for myself. So I had to leave, I had to follow myself. So that felt right, but leaving my parents behind felt very wrong. I grew up feeling connected to my parents, especially mom. She would always be there for me, she would always be supporting me. And it felt just so heartbreaking to leave because it means that we cannot have a tea in the morning anymore. We cannot go for a walk anytime we want to. Simple things. I miss them. I've been in the Netherlands for 7 years now, and I don't know if you've just moved or you've been here for a while as well and can relate to what I'm going to say. At some point, you start living your life and get bogged down by your routine. Then you visit home and you see how much you've missed. Here is a new shelf they've built, here is a new car, now they have a dog. All of this was happening without you being there because you chose not to be there with them. Even though it's not like you chose this, you chose to follow yourself, which automatically implies these consequences. And now, after a week or 2 weeks being there, you have to say goodbye again and go through more or less the same heartbreaking journey. It's tough.
In these moments, what helps me is just thinking that my life is in the Netherlands and I have so much stuff going on there. I have so many people who I love and who love me. And yeah, I have to remind myself that that was my choice. And I'm grateful that I made this choice.
I noticed that it got much easier when I've built my life in the Netherlands. It starts with something as simple and straightforward as I know where to buy shampoo that fits me, or I know where to buy a pair of jeans that I like. It's about building my routine. Do I like to do yoga? Okay. Which yoga studio will I choose? Do I like long walks? Which parks will I pick for that? Now it already feels much more comfortable in a new place. It feels more homey. In some cultures, it's common to keep their kids close and verbally or non-verbally blame them for choosing themselves. If this is your case, or if you yourself are beating yourself up, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to feel guilty for choosing yourself. If you are now in the Netherlands and you are not sure if this choice you've made was right, and if you're gonna settle down eventually in the Netherlands, it's your right to try new things, explore and experiment, even if it means that you're gonna do all of this away from your family and friends. It's your way of finding the path that feels authentic to you. We are social creatures and need connections, so I totally understand that at first you're probably gonna call your family and friends every day or nearly every day, but what about your life here? You can meet people here via common interest on apps like Amigos or Meetup. You can also make a post in one of Facebook groups for expats and offer to join you for your hobby or for a cup of coffee. For me, it's very easy to meet people, but it's extremely difficult to connect with them on a level that I need to connect. So if you're like me, prepare to have a few cups of coffee before you'll find your community, but it happened for me, so it will for you. Be greedy to explore. Check what's happening in the country. Are there any festivals or concerts that you like? Check it out. Go on a city trip every weekend or month if budget allows, just to see where you've moved. Perhaps it can be sad at first to explore it on your own, but let's change this narrative. See it as an experience of learning how to be with yourself. I was traveling through Bali for 2 months on my own, and I vividly remember this evening where I was on the beach in a cafe, live music playing. It was so beautiful and romantic, and I so wanted to share this special moment with somebody. I texted a few friends and people that were close to me, but nobody replied. So I thought, it seems like I am exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I need to do. I decided that this experience is teaching me how I can enjoy solitude and how I can enjoy these moments by myself, taking all the beauty in. So the experience for me transformed from sad and negative to feeling content and wholesome. From that point onwards, it became much easier and more enjoyable to be on my own. Immerse yourself into the culture. The sooner you will understand the Dutch culture, the sooner it will get easier for you. If the Dutch are too direct with you, knowing the culture and their background will help you take it lighter. Knowing the language will help you orient yourself better at stores, social settings, and when doing live admin tasks.
And I hope it's not the last time I'm visiting Moscow and my family, so these thoughts make me realize that the situation is not as dramatic.
I know that it's not an easy path you're walking, and I want to extend some kindness and support to you. I know that you're seeking to build a life that feels authentic to you, and in the meantime you just want to feel a little bit less homesick. Please know that whatever you're feeling is absolutely normal, because moving abroad is considered as one of the most stressful events in life. So please be gentle and kind to yourself, and it will get better, I promise.